I feel it wise not to burden Benjamin and Anne with the temptations that come with fortune.
First of all, House of Guinness is an incredible show. I was hooked after the first episode, and I just binged it all the way through. Absolutely incredible performances. But this show is about one of Europe's most famous families, but it's also full of messy sibling drama. What hooked you when you both first read the script?
I think when, like, on paper, seeing, Stephen Knight is making a show about the Guinness dynasty, particularly being from Dublin and growing up not far from the brewery itself, I would have signed on to do it there and then. And then, I read the script and I realized there was such a big gap in the history of my own, birthplace. And so I learned a huge amount about Irish history. But as soon as I read the first script, Stephen writes these brilliant characters, and scripts are so rich and full and fizzy, but also really intimate at the same time. And yeah, it was just such a joy to get to say his words every day.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I think similarly to Fionn, I also had the thing with Anne. I just thought it was so interesting that, as she's gaining power and strength within herself and within her role in the family, her health starts declining. And it's like she's finally, found her purpose. She's taken up space, and despite not getting anything in the will and being a woman and getting kind of shoved to the side, she's really taken things into her own hands. But then her health and her own body starts to hold her back. And I thought that was such an interesting obstacle to have, and something really exciting to play.
Absolutely. I actually want to talk about that, Emily, because Anne finds her calling on the road to Ashford, bringing in resources for the people that need it. What does it mean to kind of spotlight the Guinness women at the forefront of social change?
I mean, it's such an incredible story, and I think it's pitched so beautifully. I mean, especially that scene with Sultan on the hilltop, incredible Hilda Faye. I mean, she just witnessed me losing a child, and she's showing me where her children are buried. And I think it's such a beautiful scene because it's two women from vastly different backgrounds holding each other in what is the most traumatic moments of their lives. And I think they both have so much empathy for each other. And I think it's just, Stephen covers so many topics and so many moments in Irish history through this sort of lens. So it doesn't just feel like you're watching a documentary or having a history lesson. You're learning about these immense moments in history through very real, very human stories.
Absolutely. I want to talk about that for a second, because Fionn, there's not a ton that we know, there's a lot less attention historically about your character. What was the most exciting or surprising opportunity to tell Ben's story?
I think, one of the first conversations I had with Tom Shanklin, the director, about Ben was he's kind of like the poster boy for a lot of troubled kind of Guinness heirs and heiresses, is that a word? That came after him, And I think, with Stephen's scripts, they're so brilliant, but they also challenge you as an actor, and they require you to do the work. And definitely getting inside Ben's head was something that took a lot of time, and sometimes isn't that fun when you're going to places like that, but super rewarding. And I think that Ben kind of historically too has gotten a really bad rap, that he's kind of always will be known to a certain extent as the kind of drunk black sheep of the family. But Ben had a very decorated what's the words, career in the army, and had a very happy family and a bunch of very successful kids. So I think, it's kind of nice for our story to maybe humanize these people that sometimes feel a little bit separate or untouchable.
Absolutely. Emily, there is, you talked about this for a second, about the will reading, because I think that's where everything really, that's our big catalyst for the show. Now, both your characters get done dirty in the will reading. Ben with money he can't handle, and Anne overlooked entirely. Can you talk about your reaction when you first read that twist?
Yeah, I mean, it is great. It is one of those moments. But I mean, I think for both of them, it's sort of the lesson you don't really want to have to learn, which is they didn't get what they wanted, but actually it ended up so much better for them. Like, I think if Anne had just been given a load of money and a big posh house to live in, she would never have set up the trust and, you know, would never have helped all of these people, would never have helped other women in the family have a purpose. And the next generations of Guinness women having purposes and stuff like that. So, you know, it's, at the time, it's so unfortunate for her. And you see on mine and on Fionn's faces just the realization that you have nothing. And what are you going to do with your life? And then suddenly she's actually made a much better life for herself.
Well, look, thank you so much for your time. The show is absolutely incredible. There's episodes, or most of all of these episodes, I felt like this dreamlike sequence where I was transported back in time. Your performances are perfect. The writing's incredible. But thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so
Lovely
much.
to meet you. Spes mea en Deo. Love is our hope.